Thank you all so much for joining us live on August 7th, 2019. All right, I'm happy to be here on the show. My name's Sarah, for any of you that don't know. Yes, I know it does. Well, I feel like when so I can do a friend of mine, I turned 41 this year, and I noticed when I turned 40, I had like the best year, maybe year and a half of my life. But I was super driven. But at the same time, I know I'm really old, but at the same time, I also realized like once I turned 40, I didn't really care what other people thought. I did things for myself, and it's been really good. Too bright? My teeth are too bright, you think, True Blue? Did I get my teeth whitened? No. Maybe it's David's messing with the light. Something like that. The spring chicken. Yes, that's one of the things I did when turned 41 really. Was when I turned 41, I read Marie Kondo's book about the magic of tidying up. And I totally like got rid of I did a big spring cleaning, got rid of a lot of stuff. And then the sad thing is that I've lost some people. This has been a sad year too. It's been a good year for me because I've been really productive and really award winning. I got my master's degree in 15 months. That was really good, but I also I lost quite a few people. I There was like four different teacher friends that I knew that all passed away. So, yeah. I think people do care. They just ignore them. That's those old people. Yeah, people say I look younger now that I'm not traveling and I'm on vacation. I'm so fortunate that I have a job that I like and I have summers off. Yes, teaching. I love teaching, but I have summers off, so that's been it's been really good. I This summer was especially good because David and I dragged him across country and we went and saw all the things I've always wanted to see. Hello. I have to get like somehow got my number got added to a thing. So I had to add it to the do not call list. Well, I just stayed on the line long enough to add it to the do not call list. Traveling vacations can make one get stressed. It's counterproductive. I agree. You're supposed to be relaxing. One of the things I did this summer is we saw a lot of presidential places. So we went and visited David's friend, but then I saw a lot of presidential homes and went to Washington, D.C. I've always wanted to go there. spent a little time there, which was really cool. I saw the American History Museum, and they have this thing for the presidents and for the first ladies. That was really good. I don't know why he says that ATP campaigner. I don't know why David calls people crisis actors. I really don't. Yeah, the whole do not call list only lasts a couple years. David is an excellent driver. He's an awesome traveler, and especially for driving. I mean, I told him I was extremely impressed with his driving ability in Washington, D.C. It was bumper to bumper traffic, and somehow he managed to maneuver his way through really, really well. So, yeah, I was really impressed. Yes, we went to Monticello, which is Thomas Jefferson's house. We went to Highland, which is James Monroe's house, I believe. Yes. And then we went to Montpelier, which is James Madison's house. And that was probably my favorite because when we went to James Madison's house, yes, I can sleep when David drives. I know. But not in the rush hour traffic, but I was super impressed with that. I did not go to Arlington, but I did see a bobblehead of Robert E. Lee. That was pretty interesting. It's like bobbleheads of presidents, and there was a bobblehead of Robert E. Lee. I was telling David how I learned about Robert E. Lee before I learned about basically any president, because I grew up in the South. Uh, well, I did see some vineyards. I'm not a big, I don't usually drink any wine, so I'm not a big vineyard person. I bring any souvenirs? I got like little brochures from the places because with that whole calamari cleaning out thing, I thought about, do I want to get a trinket that's just gonna sit there and just be a trinket? And I didn't really want to do that, so I didn't really buy any trinkets. I did buy a couple of books, like some small. I bought a couple books that were like $1 a piece because I was like, oh, I could put those in my classroom. But yeah, exactly. Oh, very delicious diddly dee, but it's got a lot of sugar. Hello, Vinny, and yes, I hope you didn't stay in Washington, D.C. motels. They're extremely high. I stayed right across the river, the Potomac, in Arlington, Virginia, which was still extremely expensive. But I was going to DC, so I spent a few days there. But then I was like, this is all I can handle. Once the bill reached a certain amount, I'm like, I gotta leave now. So I hold $2 on books. Yeah. I spent most of my allowance on hotel rooms. That's what it really boiled down to. And yeah, but it was a really fun vacation. And then on the way back from DC, I didn't expect it, but we stopped, like we were driving along. We went Interstate 70 to Interstate 80 to Interstate 90. And as we were going, David's like, oh, it says something about a president's museum, Herbert Hoover's house. Do you want to stop? And I was like, yeah, let's do it, since I saw everybody else's. And we stopped, and I love that because I learned about Hoover. David's like, of course, what they say about Hoover with Hooverville. And I'm like, but the thing is that Hoover really, he inherited all of those problems. He wasn't the cause. He inherited a lot of those problems, and he was called a great humanitarian, and I learned some things about him, like he was a Quaker. I saw the house that he was born in. That was very cool. And he, put together this humanitarian effort for Europe after the war. So he was just, I thought it was really amazing. And, Hoover Dam, like they built that. I think he had a lot of vision, and he got so much flack, and he just worked so tirelessly for the American people. And I have to say, I have a lot of respect for him. I had some respect for him before because, like I said, I knew that he inherited the issues, but it was pretty inspiring. Yeah, definitely. I have passion for America. Sometimes I don't appear as political as I am. I mean, obviously I'm political. I'm on the show. I helped David start America's Third Party, but it's just that, I do care strongly about the American people, and I do care about this country, and I see the hard effort that our former presidents put into the American people. Anyway, yes, good. I think it's nice to be positive, Dylan. I think that's one thing that is missing from this world, and one thing I hope to bring to this world is positive attitude. Sometimes I don't always have it. I had some pretty heavy feelings the last few days, but I definitely feel like we have to look at the good in the world and be the good in the world. My worms are doing really well. So this year, I don't know if you know, but I was like, we're going to compost everything. And these people told me that worms aren't vegetarian. So we're going to compost everything. If you can eat it, worms can eat it. Well, and technically that is true. But if you compost milk and meat and cheese, it kind of stinks. But we did, yeah. So when we got back from our trip, David's like, oh, we should go water your worms. And it's been so sweet. David's just so very cool because he's helped me in my school garden like more than he helped me in my other aspects of my school life. And I really appreciate it. And then we went to the garden and we were watering the worms. He's like, you should check your worms because I'm not sure if the people actually watered your worms. And he was right. They were pretty dried out. And so we watered them 2 or 3 different times. And then he's like, whoa, there's all these grass seeds growing near your garden. We've got to bring out a mower and mow them down. And so we went home and he got his mower and took it back to my school and mowed the grass that's growing near the garden. This year I've got to put down like cardboard and mulch or weed block and mulch, but cardboard acts as a really good weed block. So, or cardboard and really like wood chips. So it's like the walking paths where all this grass is growing. And then there's one bed is all daisies. She's like, let's clip those daisies too. They're just like a weed. They're going to take over. And they really have. They were as tall as I am, like 6 foot tall daisies. No, it's all natural. No chemicals are used on the garden. And so we went and as he was mowing, I was chopping daisies, and then he started chopping daisies and I weeded a little bit, and it's just so good. Well, David uses this awesome fruit spray. I think he started with Michelle fruit spray, fruit enzyme spray, and now he's made his own concoction and he just like sprays it on his face. I think he found the fountain of youth. He probably sprays it on his neck too. My neck is pretty big, but that's okay. I found some more turtlenecks, so maybe I should wear those and cover up my neck. You want to learn how to grow potatoes? Well, I'll tell you how to grow potatoes. Actually, what's really cool is you can grow potatoes in like a trash can, but you you just leave potatoes that you buy at the store, and you wait for them to grow what are called eyes on their potatoes. So it's like little, it looks like little white roots coming out with little green tips. And you cover them up with dirt in the bottom of a container. And then that's it. That's pretty much it. And then but you only want to put one, because what will happen from that one is they'll spread out like under the ground, and then it'll grow more, and then it'll put up a plant, but the potatoes grow underneath the ground, obviously. And yes, water. Thank you, Maxed Out Credit. That's always the part I forget. Water them daily, and then so a plant will come up. We grow a lot of potatoes in Washington State, but a plant will come up, a plant will flower out. There's like little white flowers usually, sometimes purple. And then I would just leave it until that plant dies off. And then you dig up where you had planted. And when you dig up, you'll find more potatoes than you planted. And actually the first potato that you planted will like basically rot out as it's seeding out into other potatoes. Sarah, when plants drown, do they suffer? Usually not, because plants need water, but you don't want to drown them, no. But yeah, and when they flower, it's a sign there's more below. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it as long as you just put a lot of dirt in there, and the potatoes will grow. I wondered about, they do have this thing where you can grow them in a trash can, but I wonder if it's like you plant them and then, like, I haven't really read like you add more soil to them. So it's like the plant's going up, you add more soil, so the plant has to like shoot up, and as it's shooting up, it has more potatoes. But I haven't read enough about that. And I didn't even consider myself a gardener until really like a year ago or something. Well, yes, you can cut them in four. Really, it's wherever there's an eye off the potato, don't flick that off. That means you need to grow it. Okay, ATP Campaigner says you have to prune the plant, like cut the bottom of the leaves so it's like a heavy stalk, and then you add more dirt, and then yeah. So then you add more dirt, and it like grows potatoes till your whole thing is full. Wait, Maxed Out Credit says no, they're tubers, they need to run along, prune nothing. I don't know, just experiment. That's how I view gardening, as a huge science experiment. Oh, thank you. I just reminded myself I have to do some science tomorrow. Anyway, it's like a huge science experiment. Just have fun with it. Do science and see what happens. And don't forget to water. I'm so thankful. So I have this school garden, and I'm so thankful last year that people I had people sign up, and they came out and like watered the garden during the summer. Parents and mostly families and of students. And then this year, I'm very thankful we have this garden and sustainability teacher for the whole district, and she wrote a grant and got water irrigation system to our school, so that we have an irrigation system on our new native plant garden and an irrigation system so it's like a full irrigation system in our garden. So I already had soaker hoses going in there, and they connected the irrigation system on a timer. So I just don't even have to worry about it during the summer. And I went back and I was like, whoa, everything like grew. Like I have pumpkins there. Last year was the year of tomatoes. Like I was like, I did not plant a single tomato plant. I just moved the compost from the school cafeteria into the garden, and now there's like tomatoes everywhere. And now the tomatoes are struggling a little bit this year, but this year is the year of the pumpkin. So early, like in October, we had, I helped with this garden club, and I don't know if I'm going to continue that this year because I have a lot of work to do. Anyway, um, so this, I told the students after they had their school fall festival, they gave us like 4 pumpkins that were, do you want to add them to the compost system? And I said, what if we just put them in a garden bed and just let them rot and see what happens? So I told the kids, put these in this garden bed and clean out any weeds in that garden bed. Clean out everything from the garden bed and just put the pumpkins on it or in it. And the students like dug the pumpkins in the ground and buried them. And now like the pumpkins have grown out of that bed, and they're going to be as big as the pumpkins they donated to us. They're definitely bigger than my head right now. They're pretty good. ATP campaigner says, Sarah, you sure do like to talk. It's funny you say that because in person, I don't think I'm as much of a talker as I am on the show. I feel like one of the things is on the show, I've had to, David has kind of trained me to not have dead air space. So I just end up talking. And then because I've been doing this show for so long that I kind of just do a trail of whatever I'm thinking about. And anyway, lots of ooh, that's a good idea. Breaded pumpkin flowers and olive oil, because there are some pumpkin flowers out there too. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, so yes, I do talk a lot during the show, but I would say David would say that in real life, I don't talk as nearly as much necessarily. I don't know. Maybe I do, but David talks more than I do. I also have to talk a lot for my job because I'm a teacher, so I'm in front of students and telling them what I know and teaching them things. So, yeah. Wow. And then I start reading or I comment. Somebody sent me a private message, so. It doesn't have to be work if you really love what you do. Now how do I get out of here? Okay. So the pumpkin flowers taste sweet and peppery, great breaded. Yeah, so I have one area where it's like these big giant pumpkins, and then another one the teacher was like, I want to plant some pumpkins because my students always went to the pumpkin patch and I'm retiring, so I'm going to plant pumpkins with the kids. So in another bed we have these little pumpkin seeds or little pumpkin plants, and they're just starting to flower out, but they don't have any pumpkins on them. So maybe that's a cool idea to take the pumpkin flowers and bread them. That would be good. David thinks like pink is white. Thank you. Don't worry. Be happy. What were you saying? I usually talk about worms in gardens. I know, because I don't like talking about people that got killed or things like that. If I want to make food, feed people, and be quiet. Shut up, you say? Well, anyway. Did we visit William Penn's Liberty Bell Constitution Hall in Philadelphia where it all started? Not this year. I did visit that when I was really little, and I think David might have visited it. I know I heard that now they have it encased in glass. Well, when I went, there was like a big glass hall, but you could still go in and like my sister I touched the Liberty Bell, and I was afraid my sister was like, she was feeling the crack, and I thought she was going to get her finger stuck in it, in the crack of the Liberty Bell. And I also thought, like, there's this right across the road is the bell tower and the actual Constitution Hall, and the bells were starting to ring, like a ding, 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 ding. And I was like, because I was so young, I thought like the Liberty Bell was gonna bang into my sister's finger.
Oh no.
I was really naive, but I did touch the Liberty Bell, and I hear that might not be possible anymore. I don't know.
You can't touch the Liberty Bell anymore now.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, I do like.
I'm making dinner still. I'm just coming in to rest on this nice chair of mine.
Yeah. Did we have a Philadelphia cheesesteak? Not this trip, but
we didn't really go through the heart of.
I didn't go through Philadelphia. I did.
We skirted it.
I think I skirted most of Pennsylvania. I think we touched in Erie.
We lived. Yeah, we stayed in Erie.
Did we stay in Erie?
Yeah, right under a 5G mast. It was pretty cool.
I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of upstate New York and Erie, Pennsylvania hotels.
Yeah, they literally had the 5G mast about 20 feet above our heads.
For me, it wasn't the 5G mast that bothered me. It was just the way those hotels are built. I think they were all probably built in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And they all have like these
sliding
glass door as their entry. Like, I can understand having a sliding glass door, but it's like that's the way to get into the room. It's just really weird. And then I feel like all of those hotels there, cause the other time we stayed is so this trip we did go to Niagara Falls, and another time we went to Niagara Falls when we went to see Awesome Carl. I just feel like that whole area is just so wet that it's just really mildewy. I'm sorry.
Well, we ran across an entire town outside of Niagara Falls that is like a ghost town, and the poverty level is so great that you wonder, why isn't our government doing something about Niagara Falls?
In fact, we saw this beautiful, you guys might know how I feel about castles. We saw this beautiful New York State Armory. Wasn't it the New York State Armory, or was it the National Armory?
Well, let me bring it up on Google Maps.
And it's for lease, and it's so gorgeous. But like everywhere around there is just completely empty. I mean, there must be 100,000 tourists there, but the buildings, all the buildings are like empty, and it's just kind of sad, really.
Yeah, it really is. The Armory.
Yeah, New York State Armory, or just what
New
is
York
that? Niagara Falls, New York.
State Armory. It is one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. Niagara Falls.
Was it Buffalo, New York, maybe?
No, I don't think it was Buffalo. We were in the heart of Buffalo. There it is.
Yeah, Niagara
That's it.
Falls.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
We'll show it to you.
It's so cool. It's such a pretty building.
It is.
It's for lease.
It's for lease right now, and
it's pretty cool.
You like to make it your headquarters, but you hate living in New York. I'll let you handle it from here. You can drop down and walk in there if you want by dropping in.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's got turrets like I love.
Yeah, it's not a beautiful building, gosh.
It's
for lease. But the whole area is depressed. And there's such a great tourist attraction there in Niagara Falls, and the management of the New York State traffic system is so bad. You can't even get near the falls without driving in circles, and you drive around this New York State Armory, which is one of the most beautiful buildings ever, and it's empty. And there's all kinds of empty buildings everywhere.
Yeah, it's such a depressed area because everybody, like, who wants to live in the snow?
Yeah.
And then it's like, then who wants to live in the humidity in the summer? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to just go back here and I'll turn that on. Yeah. But it is very cool.
David, what do you do on your neck? Nothing. I don't do anything on my neck.
You don't spray any fruit spray?
You
have a beautiful neck. I agree with that.
Yeah, my neck is part of the fruit spray drift. Whenever I spray in the fruit spray direction, my neck gets it too. You have no idea what you're missing. She does not like anything sprayed in her face, so she's very, very
Leave
anti.
my face alone.
But I don't. I love this. It's like a day spa. It really freshens me up. I couldn't do a 5-hour show otherwise.
I know.
I'm going to come back in a little while. Still making dinner, so keep up the good work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a cat. I don't want any water in my face. Exactly. Tasty. I don't know what you're talking about, tasty, but well, sure. It is. It is nice. I do like David's snack. All right. Oh, you sound like someone I know, pirate. You say Chinese are being hired to troll you? Anyway. That sounds like someone I know. All right. I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you guys, you can share your life. Well, do I call him pirate? The pirate salty dog. I was referring to him. Get a huge monitor that you have to turn your head to see the whole screen. Why don't you just, excuse me, back up? Then you could still see the whole screen, maybe. Get a different perspective. All right. Oh, wait. I have to scroll down. Oh, that is pretty big. All right. All right. Time for your CBD. Okay. How is that working out for you, Mad Dog? I've thought of it. I give my cat CBD oil, but I haven't taken CBD oil myself. I've rubbed tiny amounts on my hands sometimes, but I haven't taken it myself. And I have thought of it sometimes, but no. But they say, you know, you don't get high from it, but it's just like, you feel great, you don't have any achy joints, you sleep great. I wonder, like, then somebody sent me a link yesterday because I was asking a question, and I'm like, it was about THC and other things. And I was reading it. You probably all heard me get quiet last night. I was reading it. I was like, interesting. But anyway. But I have to say, it has worked wonders for my cats. I use this stuff called Pet Relief, LEAF, and it's, my cat like is getting old. I've had my cat for a while. I think you all know Amber, and we took her on the trip, which was pretty amazing. She's like a 16-year-old cat in human years, and she did really great. Thanks, Mad Dog. $32 to $200. That's about right. Has coconut oil in it. Non-GMO, made in America. I'll have to look at what mine is. What I bought for my cat, and then I'll see if I want to buy this stuff. Because the one I bought for my cat has coconut oil too. Yes, I am getting old, but I like myself, even if I am getting old. You notice a $4 mouse from Walmart works just as good as a $70 one. That's good. Exactly. If it works, don't fix it. Save money where you can. Like a dill pickle, Wong. He wrote, "We can make a deal. I'll cut you a dill. Like a dill pickle." If you're talking about a deal, like a agreement between two people, it's DEAL. You can get the $200 bottle for $80. Wow. You know the people are something. How do you get a 60% discount? What, Mad Dog? I think that was you, I Love Fries. I think that was you. Oh, yes, I'm not a veteran. I teach military students, but not a veteran. That's pretty much and I live in a military town, but that's as close to I get as I get to being a veteran. My brothers were in the military, but no, not me. Anyway, yeah, thanks for the link. High potency CBD. Good. Have you done any of that THC oil? I haven't done any of those things. Anyway, I'm so happy to be home. I couldn't make it down to South Carolina. I felt like it's probably hotter and more humid there than it was in DC. So, and that was as hot and humid as I wanted to be. But I got, yeah. So I couldn't make it. My sister lives in North Carolina now. But I'm like, no, I'm sorry, sister, I can't go see you. Once I got to DC, I was like, I've got to go home. And once I saw the sights I wanted to see, then we started heading back home. And once I got here, it just felt so good. So gonna have some people come see me, which will be really good. And I'm just enjoying this area. I drove through, what was it, this tunnel in, maybe that was, what, West Virginia? What tunnel was that? Obviously I didn't take a picture because I was driving. I drove through this really long tunnel in the Appalachian Mountains. Allegheny Tunnel? Yeah, I think it was the Allegheny Tunnel. I'll have to look that up. And then David drove through the Baltimore Tunnel. I mean, we were both in the car together, but I was driving at one point. David was driving at one point. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Allegheny Tunnel, Mountain Tunnel. Maybe it was Pennsylvania. Maybe I did go through a little bit of Pennsylvania. I don't know. Because I thought I didn't do Pennsylvania coming back, But yeah, I think it was. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to look at the map and see what I did. Yeah, the Chesapeake Bridge Tunnel going into Virginia. Well, we did the Baltimore Tunnel. Yeah, Maryland into Virginia. Yeah, that's what we did. I think, is it Chesapeake? Yeah, anyway. And then I did the oh yeah, it was, oh, I guess I did do a little bit of Pennsylvania. Because it was on Interstate 70 for a while. Huh. I think I just drove through Pennsylvania. Yeah. Okay. Maryland. Right. So we just basically, where was I in? Okay. Like, I know I did a little bit of West Virginia, but never mind. I don't really remember. You have a relative in Toledo, Ohio, who went through 2 Pennsylvania tunnels. Yeah. You emptied 15 liters of water from your dehumidifier. Wait, 32 liters of water today? My goodness. 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 42% humidity. Wow. And it's funny, even though they say we have a lot of humidity in our area, and it always comes up with more humidity than I remember. Yeah, we have like 76% humidity. But it doesn't feel like, oh, it feels so humid, because it's not hot. They might have that sometime. But we don't, I think it, like, you feel humidity when it's, yeah, you feel humidity when it's hotter. When it gets like over 80, I think that's when you feel it. And it doesn't really get over 80 that often here, which that's another thing I love about this area. I'm just like, I told David, one thing I've learned from this trip is how much I love it here. Like, I just want to be here. I don't want to be anywhere else. This is where I want to. This is where I want to retire. Right here. In this spot. Montreal's super humid, 46 degrees, 46%. Wait, it feels like 100%. Did I miss you? Yeah, probably. I missed everything. I know, I can't say that I missed, how can I change this to? I can't say that I miss David doing these super long shows that he does. Because I really did enjoy my time with him. How can I change this? Maybe it's here. Okay. Yeah, 92 in DC, but it's not that bad. You have a lot of ultra small moths that are going through your screen. Wow. Well, the thing is, our islands, I mean, yes, going over the bridge is a little bit different, but once you're here on our island, it's fine because we live on a pretty big island. Okay, I gotta change to this. Look at our weather, just
It's really nice, yeah.
so nice.
The weather here is fantastic. That's why we had to come back. We
It's
couldn't
so
leave.
nice.
We thought we could take a trip, but we found out everywhere across the country it really was horrible. So we're very thankful we can live under jets.
I
because the
know,
weather's
I'm
so
sorry,
good.
but
The weather is so good. Yes, Montreal is beautiful too, but you have mosquitoes up in Montreal. We know that. We don't like mosquitoes. Sarah hates mosquitoes.
I wonder, wait, I might have been looking at something else. Because
I'm not jealous of your CBD discount. No, I don't care.
actually it's even colder than what I was looking at.
There you go. Yeah, it's even cooler than you thought. Wow.
Where it's so cool here in the summer that sometimes I wear a sweater.
Good night, New York EMT. Thank you for coming in, man. Duly noted. A lot of people have come into the show and arrived realizing that I don't have any knowledge of sarcasm. I'm completely above board and honest about everything except when I am sarcastic. So I don't think sarcasm is lying. I think, like if I said, "Oh yeah, I really hate this weather," that's sarcastic, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hank
I don't know.
Jr. I don't think I look a bit like Hank Williams Jr. No.
Somebody came up to me yesterday and they're like, "You look like Sigourney Weaver."
Yeah.
I was like, "Really?"
And she wasn't at a nursing home, this woman. She was like, I know. Paste and search. Well, here's a picture of Hank Williams Jr. I don't think I look a bit like him, no.
I think Mad Dog looks like Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, Mad Dog, you're projecting onto yourself. You look like Hank Williams Jr. Look at
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
That's Hank, that's Mad Dog.
Yes. That's
So-
what Mad Dog looks like.
I don't look a bit like this guy.
No. Even if you grew a beard, you wouldn't look like him.
God forbid.
I know, I love your face.
I don't like hair on my face. So.
I love your face.
Thank you very much. I'm going to put a wig on later, so we have it right up there.
Oh, you don't need a wig.
Oh, I know, but
Beautiful
it's
hair.
Wig Wednesday. I wanted to wear a wig tonight. At 9 o'clock, I'll wear a
Well,
wig.
you look good with a wig or without.
We are rested and happy, yeah.
I know, doesn't he look? We just are so happy.
To be back,
Be
yeah.
home.
We were suffering so much on the road. It's
Did you
amazing.
cool off?
Yeah, I did.
You take care of everything.
Yep, I'm ready to go. So I will be.
Alright.
Your dinner is on the stove, warming,
Okay.
and I just want you to put all the coffee into the thermos when it's done. It's a slow brew, so you'll know when it's done. It'll either shut off or something.
Okay. Sounds good. All right,
All
man,
right,
I
thank you.
love it here. Look at my friends, like 90 degrees,
I know.
98 degrees.
Where's that? In-
Over where my friend
Oh,
lives,
it's,
just
oh
over the
yeah, in the
mountains.
south, over the mountains there.
And it's like, why I don't want to go visit her. So, yeah.
Marianne, this is more Marianne than, yeah. She's not
Definitely. I'm definitely more Marianne.
not
than
Ginger. Not Ginger. She's more Marianne. Yeah, my mother was more like Ginger. My mother was dressed up with makeup throughout her whole life. She had a very important, many jobs that she went and worked at, and she wore a lot of face makeup, my mom did. It was a thing to do in the 50s and 60s, so, women did it. But now I see women with too much mascara, and I say to Sarah, why is that woman wearing so much mascara? And she says, she's studying makeup.
She loves it.
She loves makeup, so she's studying.
Exactly.
That's why she's wearing so much mascara. Yeah. Professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Isle. Deming, yeah, that's a good
I'm
place.
looking up different places.
Locations. The heat is like
I'm
100
just
degrees
looking
there.
at the heat.
98 in the day, 71 at night. Deming.
Wow.
It's a waste to go anywhere else but where we are right now. I mean, we mistakenly had to go someplace because we needed to be there and take care of a few things, but we should have stayed at home. Would have saved about $3,000 or $4,000 in traveling expenses. Yeah. There's something to be said about staying at home.
I know, but I saw it everywhere that I wanted to see. I told people that we went and saw, we like on a like just a whim. We were driving by and saw Herbert Hoover's birthplace, and
Yeah.
I actually have a lot of respect for Herbert Hoover.
I want to know how
And I
much they
wanna
spend to fix that town in Iowa up. It's amazing how beautiful that Herbert Hoover presidential. It's right off the freeway. You don't even have to pay to be in it, other than the museum fee is $20. But
Yeah, see, we should all blame Coolidge. Really,
Yeah.
should be called Coolidge camps, not Hoovervilles.
yeah, Hoover was falsely blamed for the Great Depression. But if we had a similar situation now, Trump would not be falsely blamed. They definitely have reason to blame him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
In fact, there was I read, I know you don't like Obama, but I read like some people were saying like the stock market was going up, and like Trump was taking credit for it, and they're like, actually that's things that Obama put in place that helped it go up. But anyway.
Well, Obama put the trade deficit in arrears. We didn't really make any progress. We were still $200 billion in debt every year to China. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, West
trade
Branch,
deficit is
Iowa is where
terrible.
we stopped by.
We're actually $2.5 trillion in debt right now to China, if not more. I mean, that may be a lowball figure. And it's getting worse. And Trump doing a trade war with China is only stalling the process of repayment. Get wetter. Okay, thanks for... CBD oil is helping a lot of people. Yeah, I know. I strongly support it. So I'll be showing that picture of a guy from the motorcycle days. Yeah, this guy is a... remember Mad Max with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say you look more like that guy. Well, maybe it's just
Hot
your
Reels
blonde
is
hair.
saying I look like this guy.
You look more like him than that other guy that Mad Dog thought you looked like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Thanks for catering to my ego, I guess.
A lot better than him.
Thank you very much. And enjoy your evening. We're good.
So you grab something.
I just grabbed the
Okay,
sunglasses.
Good.
We're good. Enjoy the beef and the potato,
use some
and
beef.
finish the Swiss chard. I can always make more.
Okay.
Sarah had so much Swiss chard at her garden from all the composting that went into the
I
soil.
can always get more from my garden.
These leaves are like this big.
They're cute.
They're massive. We were just there today putting water in it so the worms didn't die.
I could wear those leaves.
Yeah. They were really big. Big leaves. Big leaves. Big leaves. But yeah, Herbert Hoover had a bad rap. And we went to his place, and I don't know what Herbert Hoover cost of upkeep is, but both presidential group is there, the Birthplace Cottage, as well as, yeah, it's a historic site. It's huge. We walked around it. He actually has his room that he's born in right there, and you can walk right in and look at it. It's amazing. And this entire event is handled by the Department of Interior and the Department of Parks and Services. And apparently they did a great job. I just wonder what the monthly charge is for that place, because Niagara Falls could definitely use an improvement. Okay, moving on. A lot of people are afraid of the shootings that have happened recently, if indeed they've happened. Of course, I don't believe they have, because I haven't seen any real evidence to suggest that these shootings are real. And people have looked up the names of the shooter and the victims, and they don't exist. But look at the reaction that happened today in New York and around the country after people are hearing loud noises.
Dr. Jeffrey Lieberman, chair of psychiatry at Columbia University, says the cumulative effects of mass shootings produce high levels of anxiety and fear across the country.
So even if you're hundreds of miles away and you hear about these mass shootings, it can still have a real psychological impact.
You wouldn't think so, but it does. So any type of natural disaster, and in this case, a mass violent attack, has reverberations. Some people are more resilient, they brush it off. Other people are freaked for days, months, or even longer.
Nora, I just spoke with the NYPD. They said the public reacted the way they should have by running and hiding. They also said they have increased police presence since the 2 mass shootings this weekend.
Still scary, though. Nikki Batiste, thank you so much.
Okay, so apparently the fear tactics by the propaganda is working, and people are more and more frightened and living on edge, and PTSD is kicking in. Yeah, they're training the sheep well, that's right. If we could verify any one of these shootings, folks, we would gladly do that, but there's no blood evidence and not one open casket in the past 10 years. The only open casket was this guy right here. And it turns out he was a wax dummy. Confirmed. His ear was about a half an inch lower than in the wax dummy, and his head was oblong and vector shaped. But yes, Clemente Pickney, the alleged death was witnessed by people in an open casket. It's the only open casket that's ever occurred. So none of us have ever seen any bodies. So what is happening is the government is trying to push a directive of anti-guns. They want gun control. And their primary directive is to disarm the population. So that being the case, they want to virtually, disarm the country so that maybe Russia and the Russian Zionists can take over, like they did in Germany with Hitler. Hitler was a Zionist, He took out all those Jewish people in an effort to create a state of Israel. People are saying, you got to be kidding me. No, the state of Israel was created because of World War II. No, wrong. The Balfour Declaration was created by the Rothschild family in the early 1900s. It was implemented. And even Hitler was a Zionist. People don't understand that. They don't get that. Hitler wanted a state of Israel? Oh, yeah. He wanted to send the Jewish people to Israel. But instead, he was told by the mullahs and the Muslims who didn't like this goal of taking over Palestine, who would, to burn the Jews. And they literally killed them in mass in the concentration camps. So that's the real story of why Hitler created that. So the Balfour Declaration was fulfilled, and Israel does exist now, and I don't in any way deny their existence or their legitimacy. I just don't think that we need world politics dictated by a new world order with a higher agenda than just creating a state of Israel. Nope, Sarah's not. She's just had a big trip, and we've been hanging out at buffets. So we're on a good exercise routine where we sit and worry all the time, and we can shed off the pounds very easily. You notice that worrying can really make you lose calories. All right. I can't possibly talk to Louis Farrakhan. I'm so sorry. I am not using Maybelline. This is my fruit enzyme spray, which was titrated from a small sample of Michelle Dermaceuticals fruit enzyme mixed with 9 parts of purified Fountain of Youth water, which I acquired from the Fountain of Youth. Oh, it's wonderful. There is no human or any genetic material traced to human in it, or any animal. There is no collagen or animal DNA, nothing like placenta. So please stop calling it placenta spray. Thank you. Well, they want to create Zion, and I think Trump wants to create that Zion over in Jerusalem, and he's certainly working as a diligent little puppet for AIPAC. Trump pitched AIPAC early on in 2016, and he sucked there, you know what. Yeah, here it is, 2016. Ah, la 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 la. Yeah. Up and away, my beautiful, Here it is.
Support and friendship for our strategic partner Israel has been firm and unwavering for more than 35 years of my professional life. And as the candidate in this race with the deepest and most far-reaching foreign policy and national security experience, ladies and gentlemen, I don't need on-the-job training. I will not have to learn about the dangers facing this country and our allies. I have lived these matters for decades. If they truly want peace with Israel, then Palestinians cannot continue to promote a culture of hatred and death. We must make it clear that we will not tolerate such behavior.
My number one priority is to dismantle the disastrous deal with Iran. I have been in business a long time. I know deal making. And let me tell you, this deal is catastrophic for America, for Israel, and for the whole of the Middle East. I've studied this issue in great detail. I would say actually greater by far than anybody else.
Okay, he's the expert. He's smarter than the others, and gosh darn it, he can talk like anybody else. He's a smarty. He studied it in detail. Yeah, he really... Well, Lord Rothschild created Israel, essentially. The Rothschild family has been behind the creation of Israel ever since the Balfour Declaration.
And then you have the bit that nothing that's to be done should in any way harm the Arab community. But you come back to the big point, which is that this is perhaps the greatest event in Jewish life for thousands of years. And it's a miracle that it took place.
And of course,
and they really believed it. I mean, Jacob Rothschild really believes what he has done is miraculous. Now, the problem is their goal now is set on world domination. It wasn't enough that they created the state of Israel using the Balfour Declaration. Now they want world domination, and they can change their face and do shape-shifting and morph into anybody they want. Yes. Ah, really, David? You speak as if you know what you're saying. Clearly, I am not Lord Rothschild. Sorry. He does look a lot like me, though. Anyway. That was their big plan, and they now have the New World Order on their minds. I'm going to go with jam on toast. Marmalade is not my fave. I don't want to have a guy named Mark's lawyer in the show. Thank you. Another fake video. Oh, last moments of the Dayton shooting. Yeah, I saw that. Could you not present porn on our show? Thank you. Insane Canadian. I can't play the porn scene in there. Sorry. Yeah, you can work better on that link. Everywhere you go now, you see porn happening. Well, how come I saw porn in there? I saw two women touching each other, which I consider lesbian porn. It's not my personal fetish. Thank you, though. No, it's not really Mark's lawyer. It's just somebody saying they are. Come on. Let's be real. I did not ban Juan Gabriel. I have unbanned him for perpetuity. It is that Juan Gabriel is dead, and you are obviously either psychotic or on the verge of a mental breakdown. But I will, for your sake, unban Juan Gabriel, who happened to die many, many years ago. This room is clean. We have cleaned the room. Now we have no bad people in here. We were featuring Duterte's nightmare reign of power over the Philippine people, and how Donald Trump likes Duterte. There's nothing much to talk about besides that regarding Duterte, other than him hating on Canada and what other things that he's been doing. So it's not really a discussion. There's nothing to talk about Kim Jong-un except that he fired 2 missiles off, and apparently is getting the approval of Vladimir Putin, who is good friends with Donald Trump. I think it's safe to say that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump are very much good friends, no doubt. Oh, there I was making the connection. The connection to the Rothschild family has been noted. Clearly, I look so much like Jacob Rothschild. It's phenomenal. I know. Thanks. Joe Duterte. No, Duterte is his name, and killing drug dealers is his game. Kim Jong-un says missile launches a warning to U.S. South Korea over military drill. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. I thought Vladimir Putin had worked all these problems out for Donald Trump and, Kim Jong-un. But here we have it again. The truth is revealed. Globalnews.ca has it. Kim Jong-un says missile launches a warning to U.S. South Korea over military drill. Let's take a look.
Based on the best-selling novel, The Art of Racing in the Rain is a...
That's a commercial. Hold on, please. One moment, please. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo.
Despite our repeated warnings, the United States and South Korea have finally started the joint military exercise targeting the DPRK. This is an open denial and a flagrant violation of June 12 DPRK-US joint statement and the last year inter-Korean declarations. Although United States and South Korean authorities are playing every trick to justify this military exercise, they can neither conceal nor whitewash its aggressive nature in any manner. What is more serious is that the United States is inciting military tension hostile to the DPRK by deploying a large amount of latest offensive military hardware in South Korea. These facts prove that the US and South Korean authorities do not have any political will to implement the joint statements in which they pledged to improve bilateral relations, and that this also shows that they remain unchanged in their position to continue to regard the DPRK as their enemy. The US and South Korean authorities talk about a dialogue, but when they sit back, they sharpen a sword to do us harm. If this is what they call creative approach and imaginative power beyond common sense, then we would be forced to seek a new path.
Let me just make very clear, the United States is not inciting military pressure.
Well, let's be clear. I guess the token African-American representative there is the conferring with South Korea. I got to tell you, I find that South Korea, or North Korea rather, has a very good point. I work out every day and eat right every day, yeah. I got to tell you, I normally wouldn't agree with North Korea, but come on. It was on the table that we were going to reduce the war games with South Korea completely. In fact, it was my idea. Trump copied it about 5 years ago. Yeah. So here we are at the stage where Trump used my ideas, but the Pentagon is laughing at him because he only used my ideas to get elected because they're very winnable ideas. And Trump is not acting on them. And now North Korea is seeing the reversal of Trump's policies because Trump has no power. He is basically powerless. And the mindless Republicans who still believe he's stopping the deep state are out of their minds. I mean, it already became clear that Mueller openly said that Trump was blackmailed by Russia over the sex tapes. Yeah. So what can I say? You people have to wake up. Our president's been compromised. And in no way has he stood up to the honorable agreement that he made with North Korea. I would have stepped down the war games. This was my idea. I was the architect of it with Sarah. Our goal was to open up an olive branch of peace and see where it got us. And I felt that it would also save us some money because we can still keep the 12 to 15,000 troops in North Korea, or South Korea rather. We can still keep them there without engaging in war games. Good evening, Sunstar. Yeah. So I'm about ready to change the background on Wasteful Wednesday. I'm getting a little tired of this picture in the background, so I'm going to add something. I know, really wild and crazy kind of guy. A wild and crazy kind of guy. Wasteful Wednesday could talk about things like waste. I know. What a concept. Industrial waste. That would be kind of fun. We could talk about China. Look at the pollution in Beijing. My goodness. It's crazy. How can these people live in this type of environment? Well, that's true also in New Delhi. It's this bad. I don't know. That's not really a great background. Wasteful Wednesday. The weather was really weird this summer. We had 500 tornadoes in Indiana and Ohio cumulatively. Anyone who says or denies that there's climate change happening is clearly ignoring the reality that something weird is going on. That's appropriate for our show. This way the lightning can go through my head. But yeah, without any reference to chemtrails, our government ignores the reality that we are being dumped on daily with these chemicals, with these canisters coming out of planes. And the skies are pretty much spitting out chemicals everywhere we go. Of course we're having weather modification problems. Look at this. Yeah. So yeah, the environment is altered mostly because of mankind dumping chemicals in the air. Nothing special about that. But our government refuses to acknowledge this problem. Absolutely. It's a problem that they don't want to acknowledge. That is inherently the problem. We don't have a discussion of porn, Sunstar, and you of all people would never talk about porn. But I understand women who are frustrated with the male ethos that pushes porn on everybody. Einstein did not steal the theory of relativity from me, no. Einstein was merely like a puppet. From what we gathered, there is very little footage of Einstein talking coherently. He made very few statements. He never produced a proof for his theory of relativity. So it is safe to say that Einstein was just like a shill.
We are concerned here with an act of humanity, with the maintaining of cultural values, and not least with a measure of considerable political importance. The effect upon all nations, and not least upon the Germans.
He was reading literally out of a book. He was very difficult for him to actually comprehend what he was saying. And anyone who read Einstein's history, who's read Einstein history, knows that Einstein failed third grade math. Yeah. But I look like a very intelligent man, and that's why people thought that I was smart. But really, the goal was to create nuclear weapons either way. Sorry. Back to you in the studio. Really? He had dinner at your buddy's house really many years ago. I would not doubt that. Praise you. Praise you. You visited the Einstein. I was touched by a man named Robert Oppenheimer. Not in an indiscreet, weird kind of pedo way. Robert Oppenheimer was visiting where my mother worked. My mother helped design, well, she was the executive secretary writing up all the plans for the Gemini, Saturn, and the Apollo rocket systems. And Oppenheimer was there, and he stood right next to my mother, and because my mother was the only woman in the entire facility. It was weird. I've got photos that are phenomenal of these nuclear scientists around her. But Robert Oppenheimer actually asked to touch me, touch the belly of my mother, the womb, so to speak. And man, I felt that weird, creepy hand get close to me, and I went, yeah, a roundhouse kick right to the belly, and then said, get the hell, and I gave him the biggest kick I could. Yeah, but I could only go so far as my mother's belly, so I think that's when the labor pains started being induced, and she immediately went into labor, or the next day went into labor, I think. Yeah, the karate chop, the high kick from the womb was enough to do it. Einstein was sad after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, only because he had created a weapon that was so dangerous to the world that it would ultimately destroy mankind. That, to me, is not the sign of a high intelligence, Mozart. Yeah, unfortunately, Einstein wasn't the smartest tack on the block. Yeah, in fact, Nikola Tesla called him an idiot. I'm not kidding either. Oh yeah, he lived in New Jersey for a while. He taught at Princeton, you know? Yes, panic in Times Square, we just talked about it. A motorcycle backfire occurred, and we just talked about everybody freaking out. We've been good trained sheep. We all now run. You know, it's wise to run if you hear any loud noise, but don't create panic. Yeah, try not to go into large groups of people now and hang out at home and watch TV. You know, that would be a lot safer. This is Panic in New York Times. Yeah.
I what?
Yeah, we got the panic concept real good. Thank you. We got done with the panic thing. Okay, so I'm building my link library. We're going to do a little discussion about Duterte's drug war tonight. We'll have that 5-minute video. I'm trying to add to my library so I can do a 3-hour video tonight. If you guys have any good links tonight you want to watch, feel free to bring them in. And then